Hey everyone, today I'm continuing with the LEGO AT-AT set build. In the last video, I assembled the 4 footpads, which are huge. They look really cool. If you haven't seen that video, please go check it out. And today I'm going to be constructing the lower half of the legs, which will sit on top of these footpads. There's a staggering amount of parts on the table. This is bag number 7. Again, like my previous videos, there's a lot of replication, so I'm going to do one assembly, show that in detail, and then just skip the other 3 assemblies because they're going to be identical. And then when we're done that, we'll attach everything to the main body assembly. Let's get started. Start with one of these giant ring assemblies. There were 4 of these in the upper half of the legs. All right, make sure I'm working on the correct side. Made that mistake in one of the previous videos. Interesting Technic part. Not sure I have one of these. All right, flip this over. At least they give a good mix of colors. It makes it easier to find the parts. This pin will go through into that orange pin. Again, a little bit difficult to remove, but at least in this assembly, I can get my fingers in here and I can push this pin out. In one of my previous videos on this build, there's an early assembly like this with another flush pin, but there's a lot of other stuff in here and there's no way to get that pin out without putting something really thin in there and prying the pin out. It's very annoying. It's one assembly. I'll set this aside while I make another small assembly. This assembly is going to just sit in here, and then this pin will get pushed in to hold it in place. There's our second assembly. So this assembly has 2 gears, 2 wheels. Be interesting to see if the gears are actually functional. Bring the first assembly back. So these orange pins will go into here. Bunch of side-facing pins. Definitely looking interesting so far. Time for some side panel sub-assemblies. There's one side panel. Should go right here. Now, alignment's always a bit of an issue. I think that's correct. More side-facing studs. And a side panel for this side. So this side panel is identical to the other one, just a mirror image. So there's the assembly with 2 side panels on. Now to cover this up with another panel. There's the panel. Not too complicated. So there's holes in that part to go over that Technic pin, which definitely helps with alignment. Oh, there's something satisfying about that, just perfectly lining up with everything. It looks pretty good. And a ball joint right there. Well, there's one completed assembly, at least I think it's completed. There's still nothing on the back side here. But But before we do the back, we have to attach it to one of the foot pads. Bring one over. Okay, this has to get opened. So there's a ball socket there. We got our ball joint right here. Attach that in there. Got this in the wrong orientation. It's got to be like that. This gets rotated up. And these, it's a little tricky. These get rotated up. They have to go inside. They're going to sit on that black gear. Then hopefully connect in the middle. Just like that. Now I can pin that together with another ball joint. So now that's attached. Oh, and because of those black gears and the way this assembly is constructed, this can actually rotate. Not a lot, but that's a decent range of motion. And then this ball joint back here, of course, helps that whole assembly just stay stable. Now we got to cover all this up. Have to be a bit careful. These go in the middle of all those studs, which is a bit unusual and also a bit harder to place. There's the other panel. This won't go all the way up to the top. It'll just go down here. Should be like that. One last piece. This last piece just goes up here. Cool. So there's one completed leg assembly with the foot pad attached. So this can rotate side to side at the bottom, and then this part can rotate up here. So everything looks correct. Before I attach this to the main body, I'm going to do the other 3 leg assemblies. Okay, here's the 4 leg assemblies. Don't they look magnificent? But there's still a lot of parts left. So these are all going to be the connecting parts between the lower half of the leg and the upper half of the leg. But I got to reset my camera and we'll get this all installed into the main assembly. So again, here are the 4 legs. I've repositioned my camera to hopefully see the entire thing. Again, this is the lower half of the legs. Look how big it is. Now to bring the upper assembly and stick it on top. Look at the size of this thing. This could be a bit tricky. I got to get all of these pins lined up into their mating Technic locations. Okay, those are in. That's in. That's in. Now there's gears. Kind of hard to see. That spiral gear in here from the previous videos has to line up with this lower gear assembly. So what I'm going to do, make sure that's all pressed in. I'm going to use this adjustment tool just to get everything straightened up before I attach the cover plates on. So I want all the legs to be perfectly vertical, or as vertical as I can get them. This is also a good test to make sure that the spiral gears are connected. Okay, you can just see me above here. Now with the remaining pieces, I have to finish off connecting everything together here. I'm going to gently move this out of the way so I can do my assemblies. Simple assembly, but I need 8 of those. There's my 8 assemblies. I'm going to go do the other 4 assemblies I need first before I assemble everything together. I need 4 of these. Gently bring this back over. All right, these assemblies go on the outside. Which way do they go? This way? Should be right there. Well, this thing is really well built. 8 of these panels, and they just go up in here at the bottom of these sloped pieces. And the last 4, same location, just on this side. Last 4 panels, obviously go right over top there. There we go. That is the end of bag number 7. Our legs are now firmly attached to the center part of the body. Look at how huge this is. So once this gets built up top here, oof, I'm going to pull my camera way back. I'll quickly demonstrate it again because if you haven't seen my previous videos leading up to this one, there's this custom built tool that is used to actually move the legs, because on their own, the legs, they can wobble, but they can't actually move. The only way they move is by putting this device onto a Technic pin that's buried in the set here. And then with that connected, you can rotate the leg. You can see that leg kicking back. Then now I can adjust the leg down below. So by using this to turn that Technic pin, which turns all those interconnected gears, I can position the legs into different positions, which is pretty cool. This really is going to lend itself well to some stop motion animation later. For now, I'm going to keep all the legs straight. This thing's awesome. I mean, I knew it was going to be kind of monotonous to build because of all the repeatability, but once you see it together, this is really well done. And I would say I'm halfway done. This is the end of box number 2. There are 2 more boxes to go, which will be the upper half and then the head. So a lot more left to do. But that's it for today. Let me know what you think of the set so far in the comments. I think it looks really good. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.